Hi, so I'm currently editing this video and I just now realized that I completely deleted my first clip of this month's vlog, so I don't have any kind of introduction. So because of that, I just decided to make this month's book kind of surprise, so you do not know actually what I'm reading. I'm just going to tell you the theme of this month's reading vlog. I decided that I'm going to be reading the books that have some kind of dripping or draping effect on the covers because I really do like those, and I do tend to gravitate toward the books that have those kind of things on the cover. That's it. I'm now going to give you to past Anna to tell you about the first book that she read.
Okay, hi. It's been a week and I have not updated you guys at all. I'm so sorry. But I did read The Seed and I read it 3 days ago and I just forgot completely about updating you. My mind has been elsewhere this month, definitely. I think I gave it 3.75 or 3.5 stars. I'm not sure anymore. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more of alien invasion or book in which people are really not happy and are not reciprocating anything that is happening. With it is kind of. It starts with alien invasion. I thought that alien invasion is going to be somewhere in the middle of the book, but it starts with alien invasion. And these aliens come and they seep. Seep is a verb and seep is a noun and seep is adjective and everything. And humans take that seep in them, which is basically some kind of a substance that makes you very, very happy and it makes everything okay and it makes everything feel good. But not only humans seep, animals seep, buildings seep, the whole world seeps. It completely changes every law of physics that we know and everything in the world. It changes completely. And humans now can make themselves grow tails and they can look however they want to. They can make their houses whatever they want to. They can literally just touch a wall and say, I want this wall to be glass, and the wall is going to be glass. They can make food out of nothing. They can make everything out of nothing. It's the seep that makes everything feel that good. Deaths are now not happening almost at all. Sometimes still, but very rarely. For the seep, there was a mass unaliving of people just being very scared for aliens to come, so they unalive themselves. And anyway, because this is all happening, we do not really have problems anymore. People don't really have any kind of problems. People don't have reasons to be sad because they can basically have whatever they want. But we are with our main character, who is Trina, who's kind of feeling depressed, and she is sad because her wife decided that she wants to be a child again. She isn't there anymore. She doesn't have any memories left and she left her alone. And Trina doesn't really like seep. She doesn't want to use it. She tries to not use it as much as she can, as it is not really possible to not use it because it's everywhere. It is kind of depressing book, to be honest, but I don't think it was complete. I felt the story was a bit incomplete. I felt like I needed something more. It ended in a very abrupt way, and I don't mind it always when stories just end in a very abrupt way, but this one I just it ended and I was like, okay, now it's done. There was this short story about this kid who was from Compound, and Compound in this world are places in which people don't use seep at all and they live as we live currently, without all of these thingies that are helping them. And then there's the story about this kid from the compound and how he ran away from the compound, and in the compound they tell you that the world outside is not habitable, that nobody lives there except robots. That story I didn't really care for at all, and his character I really didn't care at all. It explores a lot human need, what we need as humans. It makes you think, definitely, would you be happy if you had everything in a world? And the answer is clearly no. If you don't have any problems, if you don't have any sadness in your life, then you won't know what happiness feels like. You have to have one to have other, there needs to be dark to be a light, and vice versa. You make all problems go away, people will appreciate a lot less all good things that are happening around them, and they just all kind of become neutral. Our main character feels it. She feels that there is no reason to do anything anymore, really, because everything is already done. There is no more art. She was an artist and she needed to find a new job, so she became a medic. The art is all made by sea. Everything is made by sea. It was just a depressing book. I do think that this book explores very interesting topics, though. I think I will recommend this book in the future. It had an interesting storyline. It was not what I expected. I expected it to be more horror-based book, not just we are following this depressed person around the world in which you should be happy, but I'm not mad that that was the story. I don't really have anything else to say about it. It was just an okay book. That's it. Today I picked up another book that I really wanted to start reading, and that is The Capital of Dreams by Heather O'Neill. I'm barely in it. I don't have any thoughts. This book is about a country that is stricken by war. We are following this girl whose mother gave her a manuscript, and she told her, this manuscript is very important. It's more important than you, and you have to get it out of this country so people in Europe and people outside know that we are not some uneducated, brutal humans, that we are educated, we are smart, that we have art. And then this girl loses the manuscript. That's it, I know about it. And I'll update you when I have more to say. Hello, it's been a couple of days. I always say that. I am currently at page 233 of Capital of Dreams. I think I have about 120-ish pages left. 130, I'm not sure. I just wanted to do a quick update. I don't have that much to say. I just didn't want it to be, oh, I read the book and now I'm going to give you an update for a complete book. No, I wanted to do a bit of something in the middle. Like I said, I don't have that much to say. I have this weird relationship with this book. The story of the book I really like. It's a story of this girl that is trying to escape her country because her country is in the middle of the war and she needs to escape as far as she can. She then meets this talking goose, so she goes with her. It's again one of those road trip stories, which I didn't think this book would be. Although now that I'm looking at the summary of the book, I don't know why I didn't think it would be a road trip book. It is clearly a road trip book. But yeah, she's just traveling around and trying to figure out what she's gonna do. Her main thing that she has to do is get her mother's manuscript. Thinks that she will be able to find this manuscript on a black market. And this black market is always in a different spot and they have everything that you need. At least she thinks so. We do not know if it actually exists. We do not know if manuscript will be there, but she is certain that she will be able to find manuscript there. Something that's quite weird to me about this book, it is the themes of this book and the language that is used in this book in certain parts is very adult, but the way the whole book is written and everything is kind of like a middle grade book. I think that's on purpose because our main character Sophia loves this book of fairy tales, and she's constantly talking about this book of fairy tales that she had, and she just loved it. It was her favorite thing on earth, and this book is kind of written like one. So I think that's on purpose. I have this weird relationship, like I said, with it because I'm not really connecting with it. I'm reading it, I'm enjoying it, I'm liking it. I'm reading it pretty fast actually. 200 pages of this I read in past 2 days, but I'm just not connecting with it. It's kind of I kind of feel like it's empty. And I don't know why. I kind of have the same feeling as I had when I read Hello Beautiful by Anna Napolitano. With that book, I also enjoyed the story and I kind of did enjoy the characters, but I just felt like it was kind of sterile. With this one, I wouldn't use the word sterile, but I would use the word empty. I just don't connect with it, and I don't connect with our main character. I find the themes very difficult and very interesting to read because it's very realistic. It's just not resonating with me, I would say, and I'm quite sad about that because I thought that I would really, really love this book. And I don't think by the end of the book I'm going to give it less than 4 stars. Well, you know what? I will not say anything because last time I said that I gave it less than what I thought I would. I read Capital of Dreams. I finished it this morning. I gave it 3.75 stars. I don't know if you watched one of my previous videos where I explained how I give stars, but basically if I don't really care for the characters in the book, I cannot give a book more than 3.75 stars because for the book to be 4 stars or above, I need to care for the characters. I need to at least, feel something for them. And sadly, I didn't feel anything. And as I said, I cannot say that this book is a bad book, and I like the story, and I even like what it's trying to say, and its views on art and how you can never really remove art as much as you try, because if one person sings a song, the song will be stuck in somebody else's head and so on, and that's how everything spreads, that's how art spreads. They did even enjoy the trip that our main character was on and all the weird people that she met and she's seen and she talked to on her trip, but I just didn't really care what happened to her in the end, what would happen to her, and I didn't really care whatever happened to anybody in this book, to be honest. I don't really have that much to say about it. It was a good book. I think I would put it under historical fiction with a little bit of magic realism because it's not a magical book. I'm pretty sure everything is in her head. I don't know what to say about this book. It's just one of those books that you read and I hope that I would get a little bit more from it. But it's fine. Not every single book needs to be a memorable book. This one was fine. Really. And then when I finished this one this morning, I started right away with Such Lovely Skin. I was really excited for this book and it's completely different and I thought it would be really, really fun. The premise of this book is this girl is a Twitch streamer and her baby sister passes away. And she is somehow responsible for it. I still do not know if she is or if she just blames herself for it or something. I'm not sure, but she's telling us that she's responsible for it. Some weird things start to happen. It's paranormal. I like it. It's very entertaining. I already read 100 pages of this book and I just started reading it, so it's really fast-paced and it's really easy and quick to get through. It kind of reminds me of the books that I read in high school, like the young adult horror. I mean, it is young adult horror, so that's why it reminds me of those books. It doesn't have anything to do with it, but just because it's like in the same young adult horror genre, Horrid by Katrina Leno. I will probably not let you know anything until I'm done with it, just because I don't know what to say about this book. It's entertaining and I will probably have something to say in the end, because in the end I will be either disappointed when everything will be revealed or I will be very happy with how a reveal turned out. So it could go either way. Today is Sunday and last time I updated you was Thursday, and I actually read Such Lovely Skin on Thursday, but I wasn't at home, so I didn't update you guys for 2 days. But yeah, I read it the same day that I started it. It was that intriguing to me. It's very easy to read, and it was so fun. It was so fun to read it. I didn't have that much fun with a book in a long time. Basically, I cannot say anything too much to you guys because I don't want to spoil this book. When I was reading this book, I kind of thought about Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, Grady Hendrix's other book, My Best Friend's Exorcism, because this one also has main female character and she also has a problem of nobody really believing her. Everything that is happening, she only has one person that believes in her, but nobody else in the beginning really knows. And in the end as well, everything that happened she cannot explain to anybody. This demon doppelganger that started to attack her and attack everybody around her looks like her. So it basically looks like she just had this moment of being mad completely and trying to do so many awful things to people around her. This demon doppelganger attacks people that have some kind of a secret that they're keeping away from everybody and they will not say to anyone. One thing I really liked was that I thought that the secret that she had, that it's going to be one of those things that she did something really, really bad, but it wasn't really bad at all. It was quite awful thing to do, to be honest. I can understand people forgiving her. She's a kid at the end of the day, but it was pretty awful thing to do, definitely. Really hard for her as well. I really like that it wasn't just she thinks she did something wrong. No, she definitely did something wrong. It was definitely her fault that she did it. I just thought about how mad I would be if I were her parents, but at the same time, it's your kid and you have to understand them and you have to understand where she was coming from. I'm so glad that I finally read it. This is this author's first novel, so I hope that they will come out with more books because I did like the writing style and I liked the character and I thought it was compelling, and I'm excited to see what they do with our next book. When I finished that one, I kind of took Butcher with me. I started reading it and I soon realized, okay, I'm currently not in the mood for this. Maybe I will be by the end of the month, but let me just first maybe read Human Acts. So I'm going to first read Human Acts by Han Kang. I wanted to read this book for quite a while. It's been on my TBR for such a long time, and when I bought it, I was very excited about it. I know that it's heartbreaking and that it's going to be quite hard to read it. Let's go with this one, and then if I have any more time, I'm going to go back to Butcher, but if I don't, it's fine. It's the same day. I read Human Acts a few, an hour ago, and I wanted to take some time to process. This book kind of made me cry, which I don't really do ever. I did cry a bit whilst reading this book. It's a very heavy book. I feel like people should read this book. I feel like it's quite an important book to read because I didn't know about this event that is described in this book before. In the 80s, there was this democratic student uprising in Gwangju in South Korea. This book is following the aftermath of this uprising. There was about 2,000 people killed. Most of them were students. So his name is Dong Ko. In the beginning of the book, he's searching for his friend in this gymnasium because there were so many bodies outside. They didn't have anywhere to put them. There weren't any more beds in hospital. There wasn't any more room in the morgue. So they had to put them in gymnasium, and he comes searching for his friend because he saw that his friend was shot. And then he stays there and helps these other people to see who is who, and when family members come, to show them the faces so they can see if their loved one is one of those people. It is fiction, but it is based on real event, and as I understood it, Dong Ho is a real person. This boy was a real person. I don't know if his name is changed. He is killed. That's not a spoiler. He is killed that night, and we are following the aftermath of this whole uprising throughout, and few other point of views of other people who were working with him and his mother, and in the end, the writer, which I presume is Han Kang, that she is the writer in the last chapter. It was heartbreaking to read about it, especially because big part of this book is written in second perspective, which I always love because I go so much more into the book. There was this chapter that was his mother points of view, and she's talking about him, and it's in a second person, so you feel like she's talking about you, and it was really heartbreaking, and that's where I teared up. It was really emotional. They were also surprised because they didn't think their own country would do that to them, because the military force that came was their own military force. Whilst Dong Ho is being killed, he didn't know that he will be killed. He thought that he would be exempt. He thought that they will let him go because he is a child and he didn't do anything wrong. There are all of these parts where they are talking about how they gave the children and these students, they have guns, and then when the army comes, they cannot use them. They do not want to use them, and they think the same for the army, but the army uses them. I just wanted to read it completely. I felt like I needed to read it now. Like, I cannot be in the middle of this book and then go to sleep. I felt like I need to read it all at the same time. I know about some other student uprising throughout the history. I know one that was on Tiananmen Square because of System of a Down song Hypnotize. The translator of this book is Deborah Smith. I think they did a brilliant job in translating this work because I read her note at the beginning of the book in which she said that she was kind of scared of translating it, that Hong Kong was kind of scared of putting this book out there for the rest of the world because of the translation, because she didn't know if the emotions she put in her original text are going to be put in the translation. It's really hard because she used some words that don't really exist in English language or other languages, and I think the translator really did a brilliant job in conveying every emotion that Hong Kong put in her original text. It's definitely one of the best books I've read this year. Will I put it in my favorites? Probably not. I wouldn't say it's my favorite book. I don't think this kind of book can be my favorite book. I think it's an important book, and I'm really glad that I read it. For now, I kind of just want to put this book down and go through all the emotions that I have in me, and then maybe I will have some other thoughts. I have Butcher by Joyce Carol Oates, which I think is also inspired by a real person, by this doctor, Silas Weir, father of gyno-psychiatry. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is inspired. I think I read it somewhere. I started reading this book. I got like 40 pages in. I started reading it after I finished Such Lovely Skin. I am like at I'm page 30. So I'm really not that far in, but it was for now interesting, definitely. I am really not trying to get through so many books as quickly as possible. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to just get to a certain number of books, definitely. When I'm under stress, I read quite a lot. And this month, I'm under quite a lot of stress. I just wanted to preface that. I already spoke in the beginning of my video that I have this important audition coming up. We're getting into this academy that I wanted for so long, and I decided to audition this year. And the way this academy works, mostly people don't really get in the first year they come. Most of them get in the second or third time. But who knows, maybe I will be able to get in the first time. Anyway, the audition is on Friday, which is in 5 days. So I am kind of freaking out a bit. I am going through books really, really fast. I will let you guys know when I have something to say, probably somewhere in the middle of the book. So it's morning, but I am reading Butcher still. I'm still not at a half point, but I'm close to half. And I have some thoughts. I just wanted to talk about how much I dislike this doctor, which you should dislike him. This book, I feel, is more about women's autonomy, like their body, how they cannot control anything. This doctor, Silas Weir, he worked somewhere as apprentice, and he did this awful thing by accident. He tried to readjust an infant's head because it was misshapen, and he couldn't do it, so infant in the end was buried. So he got basically banished from that place of work, and he got to work on some farm. And on that farm he discovered that he actually likes working with people that are class under his because he feels like he can do anything to them. Before, he worked with people who were like his class, and now he works with people who are under him, and he can do whatever he wants to them. They're like slaves on this farm, on this plantation. The way he talks about particularly women, I know it's for a reason, and I know that the author wanted it to be that way, but it's just still so hard to read. Like, we're just these awful wild creatures. In the beginning, there was like this line that talked about how he hopes, he really doesn't like when a woman undressed. When he has to examine a woman, he asks her to not undress before him because our bodies are so awful and grotesque, and we have hairs on our legs like men, and in our armpits, and we are have older women have this sagging skin, and if they are pregnant, oh my god, that's the worst thing that had happened to a woman. She then looks even more awful. She then looks even more disgusting, and just and then he goes and works in a women's asylum. He is asked to come there by his cousin. He's a bit of a nepo baby. And he starts working in this asylum. There's this girl, 16-year-old girl, who is mute and deaf. She has a fistula, so he tries to correct it, and he really likes this girl. She is his favorite patient, or actually, he doesn't always call them patients. He also calls them specimens. We are not human. We are not humans, we are women, we are specimens. He loves her because she's mute, and she's deaf, and she doesn't scream, and she doesn't talk. He can talk whatever he wants when he's around her. So he does correct her fistula, which is nice of him to do it, but he does it in a way that is very experimental, and he doesn't really care if it hurts these women. But whilst he's helping some of them in ways, it's not because of them, because he doesn't want them to feel any more pain, because he needs it for his experiments, and because he wants to succeed in something. I mean, I know that it was true, and I'm still very flabbergasted by that being a true thing. It was believed that all the maladies that women had and all the sickness that women had came from their uterus, basically, and everything that man had came from their brain. What he does to women who are hysteric and who are crazy, he does a hysterectomy to them. They aren't crazy anymore. It's a very interesting book, and I feel like I'm learning a lot about how they treated women in 1850s. It gets me so angry and upset the way he talks about them. A woman is considered crazy even if she's just her hair is unkept, or she has a little filth under her fingernail, or she didn't dress properly that morning or something. She's instantly crazy. For a man, he needs to be crazy to be considered crazy. Women, they're just crazy. This asylum it was just now said in a book, it has about 900 patients, all of which are women. And they also work in the asylum. So they are patients, some of them, and they also work there. He really despises pregnant women, because how could that happen? Who would want you? Look at you. Why would you do it? You couldn't help yourself because you're a woman. It's your fault. Somebody maybe did this to you because you wanted them, right? Constantly gets sick and vomits, and because of women's bodies, he constantly gets sick. I am enjoying the book. I am really enjoying the book. I like what it's saying. I like that it's very medical. I didn't think this book would be so medical. I mean, to be honest, I do not know if half of these things are just not true at all. I don't really care if they are true, because I'm not reading this book for medical purposes, but I feel like they are. I feel like the author did a good job of researching this, Silas Ware is a real person. He was a real person. He wrote many, many books. And one of his systems, like how to cure women's hysteria and presumably depression, was like this rest. That meant not for a woman to just lie in a bed if she needs to rest. It meant to isolate a woman and make her just be in a bed and not go anywhere, not see anyone, and give her certain foods that, like fat foods, because it would make her feel better if you eat a lot of fat. It's what inspired Charlotte Perkins Gilman, The Yellow Wallpaper, which makes a lot of sense because her husband was also a doctor, I believe. He made her do this rest and he isolated her in this room. So she became obsessed with these wallpapers. And I just thought that it's interesting how I read that book and now I'm reading this book and I can connect those two. So yesterday I finished Butcher and I decided to give this book 3.75 stars. I really did enjoy it. I realized that I enjoyed more the parts that were kind of factual than the story itself. There's still so many things that the author decided to put in that weren't exactly true just for the story's sake. I didn't really care for those, to be honest. But I did like all the I didn't like them, but I did enjoy, well, you know what, that's not the good word either. I want to say that I think it was a good book. I cannot believe that these things happened. I mean, I can, but still, I don't want to. The first part of the book is more of his story, how he came to this asylum and how he started working there. And the second part of the story is more of a really horror experimental part where he experiments on all of these women, and the experiments are awful. They're just the most vile things you can think of, and he's constantly talking again about how grotesque their bodies are. They're like experiments not only on women, but there was like this experiment on babies. One woman was pregnant and they diagnosed her with hysteria, so she couldn't take care of the babies, and she had twins. So he experimented on these twins. Basically, he gave one to nurses, and this baby was able to be with his mother for a bit, but they took good care of him. And the other baby he locked in a dark room. I cannot say for a fact that every single case in this book was the real case, but I still think that even if it's partially real, it is still awful, awful, awful. I thought the ending was a bit cheesy. I liked one part of it, and then, like, really the last page, I was like, oh, that's kind of cheesy, and I don't really like that much. Yeah, also the first part of the book is somebody talking about this guy who knew him sometimes, and this woman that is talking about him isn't really mentioned further in the book. She's mentioned a couple of times as because he was in love with her, but it's nothing serious, and I don't really think that the first part was even necessary. Those are my thoughts on this book, and now I decided to rank these books because I cannot believe that I read all 5 of them. I thought I'm going to read maybe 3, to be honest, because this month was very nerve-wracking for me. In the first place, I have Human Acts, because I gave this book 5 stars. It was amazing. I read it in a day, and I cannot stop thinking about it, to be honest. I'm still thinking about this book. I mean, it's not been that long of a time since I read it, but I'm still thinking about this book a lot every single day, and that one is definitely the best. Also, the best book that I read so far in any reading blog. Then after that one, I have Such Lovely Skin, because I had such a lovely time reading this book. It was so fun. I also read it in a day, and I just loved it so much. I thought it was amazing in a way that it was so fun, and it gave me that nostalgia feel of me reading YA horror book. I kind of want to reread it sometimes again. I know that this is not the most profound book ever, but this book did exactly what it should have done, and I am happy for it. The third place is The Sea. When I firstly read it, I think that I was a bit too harsh on my rating for it. I think the rating deserves to be a little bit higher maybe. The book itself I did like and I did enjoy, and I did enjoy the main character of the book, and I think it's a book that also made me think a lot, and that's always a great thing. And then there's Butcher, which I now talked about my feelings towards it. And in the end, which is kind of disappointing for me, is The Capital of Dreams. And the reason why this is in the end, it's not because it's a bad book. It's definitely not a bad book. I think it's actually a really, really good book, and I would definitely recommend it to people, because I know some people in my life that would probably like this book, but I just didn't care for character. And when you don't care for a character, to me it doesn't really matter the story, because I am a character-driven reader. All of these books are still really good books, and I cannot believe that I read them all. I kind of made up for last month, in which I read 2.5 books and then I finished the third one this month. But that's it of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you will pick up one of these books because they're all so amazing. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.